She coming out from experience because when we buy our property, right, she thought that we don't have enough money, but I got 4,000.
Yeah, I was quite worried until he told me he got 4,000.
Hi guys, welcome to this brand new series of KOH-PI with Jervis KOH. So what is this series about? This series is about talking about real estate topics or some topics that you don't really commonly hear and introducing you with some local delights or of course some comfort food that I enjoy or my guests actually enjoy. So why are we here today?
Okay, so just nice we are over here to get a listing, and then it's also a place where I grew up with. I actually studied around here. So just as I thought, actually just as I can bring my husband to where I usually hang out and like what I usually eat back when I was in secondary school.
Close to 10 years we've been together already, and this is the first time I came here. So quite interesting. It's a memory. It's like a memory walk for us also.
Okay, but to be fair, we are at the far north. He was never here in the far north, so it's his first time here.
I drove here about 30 minutes, but let's check it out. Let's go. Well, this is literally like some old school kind of traditional.
It's not very old school lah.
Actually, not really old school lah, but some like confectionery and bakery style.
So we are at 883 Woodlands Street 82. 6块1啊？Yeah, pay now.
So it's my wife paying.
The pay.
But most of the time it's I pay one,
Back to school days.
So you miss these days? How is it?
Nah, tastes the same.
So actually I tasted this donut. Not too bad, not too sweet, quite nice. The dough is good. So actually, what's one thing that you like this so much?
Okay, most donuts they have a very greasy aftertaste, but for this one it is very clean. It doesn't taste oily.
True.
So that's why I really like that.
So why are we here today?
Okay, so today, if let's say you are a couple, considering whether or not to BTO or to buy a private, we are here today to answer your question, hopefully.
Hopefully we can help you a little bit,
because
right?
For us, what we did was we started out with a BTO, and then we decided to let go of our ballot number and went for a private condo instead.
So our deposit, we only paid the initial $2,000 deposit.
Yeah, so we managed to back out before we head down to pay the down payment.
Yeah, so I think our unit become an SBF, is it?
Yeah. So it was quite good. It was quite good. I think it was like city facing, like MBS facing.
Oh yeah. I remember the facing was good. But why did we decide to let go?
Okay, so for us, right, just some pointers why we decided to go for BTO was because number one, it was a last plot before the government introduced the
KOH.
prime location housing system. So we thought it would be a good opportunity to flip. And then number two, it is very near our in-laws. So the location is actually at Whampoa, Toa Payoh area. So we thought family planning, easier if we stay nearer to his family if we ever needed help with like kids in the future. So that's two of the consideration. But I think eventually, because we are also in sales, we managed to rack up our sales in the next few months. And then eventually when we saved up enough, thinking like, do we want to hold 8 years to flip the BTO for a profit and then go into a private? Or should we just take a leap of faith to go into a private immediately? So we were looking at maybe somewhere around resale condo and also new properties.
So maybe I just chime in a little bit over here. At that point in time when we were making the decision, it was about I hold a BTO or KOH-PI for about 7 to 8 years. Yes, most of the time BTO do guarantee a profit lah. I mean, it's for the traditional thinking, right? But versus a condo where I only hold about 4 years, and then in a way sometimes condo the profit may not be so nice. So that was our fear also. Because going into a condo, it's a big leap of faith. Because we bought our condo at close to about 2.2 something versus our BTO about how much was that? 700.
I think 600-700.
600,000 to 600,000 $600,000 to $700,000 range. So it was almost like 3 times plus. So I think one thing that we really want to emphasize, number one, think about your affordability. So the first thing about affordability is that whether buying a $2 million condo, is it too much and is the down payment even doable? So a lot of young couples, I think, are not in sales. Of course, we talk about corporate work, right? Usually, it's a little bit harder to save up for your first property to be 2 million.
But actually, most of our friends, okay, so back then when we let go, our sales wasn't so good yet, in that sense. So back then when we were considering, right, it was a give and take. It's either somewhere near Central or a smaller condo or a big condo but outskirts, maybe like Woodlands and Bawang area. So that was our budget back then. But then somehow when we saw the opportunity to go into a private, we managed to up our budget to 2.something million lah. So that was something that we have to think about. So is size something that that matters to you or location? Because if let's say today I want to buy a condo, then maybe a 2-bedroom or 2-plus study, I may not be very comfortable with it compared to a I can easily pay maybe like a 600,000 to 700,000 4-room flat. I have the space, I have the location.
And I'm more comfortable with the monthly mortgage and the down payment, right? But I think one most important thing is about affordability is that, right? Understanding your down payment, what is needed for a $1.5 million condo to a $2 million condo, what is the down payment needed? For us, right, we bought a 2.2 million, we need roughly about 600 or 1,000 of down payment. And thankfully, of course, we are in sales that we actually able to advance our property journey by a lot. But a lot of people generally are able to afford a 2 over million condos when they are in the mid-30s. Let me share with you, right? If let's say today you want to go a traditional route, selecting your first BTO, maybe you buy it at $400,000-$500,000, your down payment is close to about $100,000 over $1,000 of down payment, plus the profit of $200,000 to $300,000 in maybe like 8 years time. Total you cash out, right, roughly about $400,000 to $500,000 or so. You have $400,000 to $500,000 safely already. Coupled with some savings, you're close to about $600,000 to $700,000 of CPF and all your liquidity, everything all in already. So that is how a lot of young couple in their 30s
They manage to upgrade also.
Yes, and that's why the affordability is the most important thing. You don't want to buy a condo or you don't want to buy a property that you will face affordability issue and you can't sleep at night. Your mental health is more important, right?
Yeah, actually why he would say that was also because on the day of booking for our condo, we actually wanted to stretch our budget a little bit for a bigger 4-bedder. But we decided, okay, if we stretch our budget, we probably cannot sleep in peace. So that's why I think ultimately we have to see what is your affordability that you are comfortable with. I don't think there is any right or wrong. There are some people who will always want to plan for asset progression, who want to downgrade in the future. But I also have friends who tell me that they rather go for PLH. They want to stay at Holland. And then they just want to stay there until like they are 60, which is okay also.
So maybe the second question is, how do you weigh investment and own stay?
Okay, I think investment is a little bit
subjective.
So it's not so emotional. You have to be a bit more logical about it.
Yes, because right, I think a lot of couples outside, right, like maybe it's like me like that. I'm very investment number kind. But maybe the other party, right, maybe it's a bit more emotional, a little bit more 注重 like, you know, own stay, that kind. So one investment, own stay. So how do you better it out? I think that's a lot of people want to know also, right?
So I think it depends on what is your priority, because if let's say you don't see yourself wanting to, okay, it may be like maybe 5 years down the road, then we discuss again whether or not we want to sell the house. That kind of maybe you want to prioritize your own needs first. But for us, I also think because we are agents, we are quite clear cut that this is not going to be our final house. And the objective is always to earn money from our first pot of gold in that sense. So for me, if let's say you tell me that, if I buy Woodlands, I can potentially earn a good profit, that I'm okay to go to Woodlands.
So I think the second question that you need to ask yourself, right, is this your final property or is this your second final property? Because if this is your final property, then perhaps a BTO or any property suffice, right? As long as it fits your location, then anywhere,
or
location, school, family needs and everything, that makes sense. But if today is more for investment approach, then perhaps you need to think of a little bit different. Or even 30-40% of a little bit of investment, then you need to think. Because if there's already investment aspect in your consideration for this property, right, then you need to put into place that investment aspect, right? You don't want to 4-5 years later you regret this action. You go back and think, you are 35-40 years old, then you think back and say that, why didn't that time I made a move for this property? Then suddenly I see all the people profit 500-600K, then you miss out. Whereas your property only profited half the amount. So I think for 200 over 1,000 difference or 300 over 1,000 difference is also a lot of money, right? So of course the third question is that, right, how do regular salaried worker or those that are not from very wealthy background, how do they start off their journey of like asset progression?
Okay, I think it depends. I think ultimately you have to sit down with like your partner and then talk about your finances, like your savings, how much do you guys have, and if you guys have enough. And I think it has to start from the finances lah.
She coming out from experience, because when we buy our property, right, she thought that we don't have enough money, but I got 私房钱.
Yeah, I was quite worried until he told me he got 私房钱. Anyway,
I suddenly come out, wow, now she keep track already.
Yeah, okay, no, but BTO was very comfortable for us lah. Like the down payment wasn't a lot. Then I think you have to just really sit down and then plan like, okay, like if the down payment is this amount, our monthly is this amount, CPF is how much, is it okay or not? And then you have to come to consensus where like, okay, then maybe if this is a bit of a stretch, one party is not comfortable, then maybe you can fall back into the BTO plan again. Then maybe 7 to 8 years, when you get your first pot of gold, then you can always upgrade later.
always make a decision uniform, or I would say unified together, that both say yes, not one yes, one no, because property is probably your biggest purchase in your entire life, right? So if one person say yes and one person no, I believe that this kind of relationship may go backfire in a couple of years' time, right? If anything goes south, right? So I think the last thing is that, right, if you're a normal salaried worker and you feel BTO is comfortable,
or like fresh grad, these, you don't have, okay, I wouldn't say don't have a lot of savings lah, but if like you come from average family, so if let's say maybe you can start off with somewhere like a 5-room, or like anything, anywhere, I think the most important thing is to take the first step to start.
So let me share with you how most of our clients actually work, right? Just now I mentioned it already. You start off buying maybe a 500k HDB, right? You aim to sell at 750k. When you buy a 500k HDB, your down payment will roughly be close to 100-ish thousand, right? After you make the 200k profit, 250 or 200k profit, you will cash out together with your down payment. Total up, you have close to $300,000 to $400,000 in the future for your next property down payment. Coupled with your CPF savings over the next 5 years to 6 years, and together with your cash saving, easily most Singaporeans will be able to come out with close to $500,000 to 600k one. So with 500k to 600k, you easily can buy close to a $2 million property.
I think to summarize everything he said, right, it's more of like, you see property as a forced saving.
Yes.
Because every month you're paying mortgage.
Yes.
And you're paying loan and everything. So at the end of your HDB, like 5 years, for example, you will cash out your grants that is in your CPF, and then your CPF, or you have like accrued interest and everything. So it's like forced savings on top of the money that is being paid to like the bank or like the HDB
because
loan.
Mortgage got two parts, principal and interest. Principal is what you put into the property and you can take out at the end. Interest is what you pay to the bank. It's like I would say like a sunken cost. You won't take it back one, right?
So it's like a cost every month you still have to pay already. So at the end of the day, after 5 years, it's like you pay 1,000 every month for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, you are able to cash that out.
And it's a lot of money also, right? At the end of the 5 years.
So after that, you will have funds coupled with whatever that is remaining in your current CPF OA because you are working, right? So usually with all these funds, our clients are able to upgrade to like maybe let's say we don't talk about very fancy condos lah. So if let's say we are looking at surrounding like resale executive condo, which was what we were looking at initially also. So all these are also very good options.
Yeah, because at this point in time when we're recording the video, you still can find good 3-bedder condo below 1.5 million or below 1.4 million. And these are perfect stepping stones for young couples with a little bit more limited budget out there. Because do remember, last pointer to take note is that, right, if you can loan 600k for your HDB, you can probably loan up to $1 million+ for your condo because MSR versus TDSR. Alright? So I think that's it for our series today. So if you got any other questions, do
leave it in the comment section.
Yes, and let us know. And of course, if you are in the north side, do support Local Delight because F&B is not easy. And of course, we'll see you at the next series. Do like, share, and subscribe. See ya!